Hello, Hawkeyes. Welcome back to the UI Sports SalesCast presented by the University of Iowa Sport and Recreation Management Program. My name is Charlie Taylor, and I'm your host as we talk ticket sales and revenue generation with sports industry executives from around the country. The UI Sports SalesCast gives our students timely conversations covering multiple topics in revenue generation and ticket sales to help them prepare for their sports careers. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Nick Richardson, Vice President of Ticket Retention and New Business Development for the Texas Rangers. In episode 4 of the SalesCast, we met Carl Manto, VP of Ticket Sales for the Timberwolves, and learned of his career path across multiple teams in the NBA and the NHL. Today, we'll learn of another path, as Nick has spent his 19-year career moving up the ladder from an internship to the VP of Ticket Sales with the Rangers. I'm really looking forward to this conversation to learn what it takes and how you manage each step of the way into a senior leadership position in professional sports. Also, I look forward to learning from Nick how he navigates ticket sales and how to retain fans with the multiple different types of tickets the Rangers sell. So with that, Nick, welcome in. Excited to have you talk to our students and everybody here in the great state of Iowa. How are things going today in Texas?
Charlie, things are great. Really appreciate the opportunity to do this. I love to be able to give back from a student perspective. I look at it as what was given to me, who poured into me, and then how can I honor them? And this is one very fortunate way that I get to do that. It's beautiful outside. It's about 72 degrees here. We have a roof open stadium tonight for our game against the Kansas City Royals. So we're loving today and really looking forward to what is a great season this year so far.
Well, let's start right in and jump right in to give our students a look behind the scenes. If you could, talk a little bit about what a MLB sports sales team looks like. How many people are selling tickets for the Rangers? How many people do you oversee? How are they broken out? Is it by ticket type? Is it by inside sales, outside sales? And what does the environment look like for our students?
Absolutely. We have a total of 42 people that from the youngest, most inexperienced person at what you would call an entry-level role all the way up to our leadership that oversee and have a hand in our ticket sales operation here with the Rangers. From that 42, we have 5 on our leadership team at a variety of levels. We have 2 VPs, we have our 2 directors, and then we have a manager. We are looking to add an additional manager around mid-season, which will raise the number from 42 to 43 because then we will backfill that role that is vacated when they get promoted. We have 4 premium services individuals, and what they do is they service the reps. They don't service accounts. Whatever a rep has questions about menus for food and beverage orders for suites or picnics or a variety of other things, contracts that are related to both full and half season events as well as individual single game events, they help with those things. And when it comes to mailing out tickets, we mostly are digital, but we do still have some folks that go with hard printed tickets. They will help in that process. We then have 4 premium and suite sales reps, and those folks are our most tenured in most cases. They have the most experience. All of them are senior representatives, and their primary objective is to sell suite, full and half season products, season, full and half season contracted, and then our suite rental products. They can sell everything, and every person on our sales team can sell every ticketing product that we have. However, that is what their main objective is and what they're going to be, quote unquote, judged on at the end of the season based on what their numbers look like in that bucket. Then we have 11 season ticket reps. Those reps primarily are selling season tickets, and they are functioning both in the non-premium and premium space. They, again, can sell groups and suites, but their primary revenue objective is to sell season tickets. We have 7 group reps, and then we have 8 new business reps. The new business development group is what most teams are calling inside sales. And we changed from inside sales to new business development back going into the 2019 season because we felt like from a signature standpoint in an email or a business card standpoint, if they're reaching out to sell new business development looks a heck of a lot better than inside sales. And inside sales really didn't describe who they were. So we felt that there was a name change. Also, going into 2019, we were selling our new stadium, Globe Life Park, and moving into Globe Life Field. And in the sales center, as you're dealing with people on a face-to-face basis, we felt like that title really represented who we were better than quote unquote inside sales. So we made that adjustment. And then we have 3 interns that we have each year, 2 Suite and Premium Services interns and 1 group sales intern. None of them sell, but they get a firm understanding of what we're doing. The unique thing about Rangers, and I know this is a little bit deeper than maybe you were looking for, but every rep sells every product from a ticketing standpoint, except individual tickets. Individual tickets are online or through our phone system or through our phone line or individual sellers. Seasons, groups, suites, they are in buckets, so we have somebody constantly focused on that revenue. However, if a suite sales rep sells me a suite rental, they can also cross-sell season tickets, group outings, etc., because they are not only their sales rep, but they're also their service rep. So they're in essence building a book of business under the Rangers umbrella. So Nick Richardson's book of business under Texas Rangers umbrella. And they're going to do all the sales and service of each customer and account that they oversee, so that they're developing really a 360-degree relationship with these folks. They can even sell some of our non-game day events if it's related to a suite, like a concert or a rodeo or Big 12 baseball tournament championship. Those different events that we have, they can sell suite rentals to those folks as well. So it really is, it's a lot. And many teams would be like, hey, how can they sell and create revenue while they have all these service things? We find that there does have to be quite a balance, but at the same time, we believe that's what's best for the customer. And that's why we do it that way.
You touch on that, and I want to veer off a little bit here. You brought up a key word that we talk about in class a lot. Maybe talk a little bit more about it for us. Those 11 folks, that full menu that they sell, that's all about relationships, right? It's having that relationship with that individual to find out all the things about them and then how the Rangers can meet their needs. Is that a fair assessment? And is that kind of the angle you go to with being able to sell everything?
Absolutely. Spot on. The approach that we take from a selling standpoint across our entire book of business, whether you're brand new or you've been here for 15, 16 years as a seller, is how can we drive value for the individual or the business through what we sell? And that is trying to help them drive results that they are seeking. It's not about self-serving. It's not about us simply selling something. It's how can we develop a quality relationship with our customers to fulfill a need that they have and a want that they have as it relates to their business, their entertainment, and really focusing on what makes the most sense for them. And that's another reason why, if me as a sales rep, I'm a season ticket seller and all I sell is season tickets, and I'm cold calling someone, but they don't want season tickets, I can still sell that. I was the point of contact. I was the one doing all the work on it. I can sell them that product versus having to pass them to someone else. That is one thing that we have really focused on with our sales team, and I think has really helped us develop deep relationships, especially when it comes to a renewal process and repeat business. It may not be for everyone, because I know every team doesn't do it that way, but it's a way that we've believed for a long time and something that we feel like we've found a lot of success from a renewal standpoint.
You bring up relationships, and I want to blend that into our next question. As I kind of stated in the open, Nick, in our industry, it seems like a lot of people move around, right? Especially, I'll say, in the ticket sales world. You get better, you grow, you jump from team to team. In researching you haven't. I probably consider fortunate that you have taken a path different. Talk to us a little bit about your path with the Rangers from intern to vice president.
It is something I am very proud of. And back history on me, I'm from Southern Oklahoma. I'm from a town of 2,000 people. I graduated with 43, so most of your classes probably have more students in your class than I did in my entire graduating high school class. There were only about 375 kids K through 12 in our school system where I grew up. And I grew up very, very, I wouldn't even call it modestly. It would be below modest. And I was fortunate to have a family that was in business. They were in the car business and learned the value of working with people to help them achieve the goals that they want to achieve, whether it's buying a car or getting their car repaired. So learning a lot of things from my grandfather and how he ran that business and how he treated people really has helped me long term. As far as being with the Rangers, I grew up a Rangers fan. A lot of teams won't hire fans of their team because they're afraid that they can't separate the fandom from the job, the wins and losses, the ups and downs, and they're afraid that they'll be too emotionally invested to stay up here and really even versus getting down and not being productive and really getting lost in the fact that your team may not be very good. We've put up 6 straight losing seasons. However, because I have experience of being a fan and an employee here for a long time, I believe that I'm able to help the folks that I hire, if they are a fan, overcome some of those challenges because I've experienced it myself. As I assess the job, though, one, I'm extremely passionate about the Rangers and baseball in general. I love football, but I don't have an NFL team that I follow. I enjoy sports in general, but from a professional standpoint, the only team that I'm passionately following is the Rangers. I've had multiple opportunities to leave, and I have elected to stay. And some of that is because timing was really, really well for me because 2010, 2011, 2012 were the peak of Rangers selling because of the World Series back-to-back and postseason. 6 out of 7 years that we went to the postseason there on a run. It was a tremendous time to be in the organization. And I began in 2004. So yeah, there was a 6-year period of below average or right at average. And then this hits. So riding that wave and understanding the financial opportunity there. I'm also not one that I've ever sought a leadership role. I've always felt like I am going to do my very best to create value for the team. And as I put my philosophy into words, it was grow daily, live virtuously, and create value. Grow daily, learn something new every day. Understand that there's multiple ways to learn. That's through experience, that's reading, that's podcasts, that's YouTube videos, doing things like this. Learn something new every day. Secondarily, live virtuously, be who you are at all times. No matter what the scenario is, no matter how many challenges you face, no matter what ethical dilemma you may face, be a good human being in all cases, even if it hurts you. And then the create value, asking myself, what can I do every day to deliver value for the organization that I work for? And if I can do those things consistently, amongst some random mistakes here and there, we all make mistakes, handling something the wrong way, overcoming maybe frustrations or anger or a weird customer situation, all those things you face every day. But if you can really be consistent with those things, you will inherently put yourself in a position to organically capture leadership opportunities. And I've believed that, and I've seen that in my career, and I believe it's really paid off. Then over time, I've always felt like a lot of people I just want to be happy, Charlie. I just want happiness. I don't believe in happiness. And the reason I say that, and that's going to be shocking to some people, is because happiness is a new car and it wears off. Happiness is a new relationship and it gets old. Happiness is, I got a new office. I got a new pair of shoes. The Rangers won. It's all circumstantial. But joy is regardless of the circumstances. And if I can live my life being joyful about what I do, no matter how good or bad the day is, no matter how hard the situations I faced that day, no matter how I had to reprimand someone, no matter how well my team is selling or not selling, if I can go home at the end of the day to my family, lay my head down at the end of the day, joyfully exhausted, I'm in the right place. And there's no reason to change that if I'm being compensated appropriately, I'm being treated well, and I find that joy at the end of the day. So that's been the approach that I've taken. It may not be for everyone, but it has paid off for me exponentially. Excuse me.
We hear all the time about the rigors of our business. Yeah, I've lived it in my experience. I know you've lived it in yours. But to approach it from that standpoint, it's refreshing. It's refreshing to hear because you hear all the time, our students have probably heard a number of times, this is a tough business, right? You're going to get told no. You're going to make 80 to 100 calls a day. You're going to get told no 80 to 100 times. And if you get one or two people you talk to, that's a good day. And if you turn one of those into a sale, that's a great day. But to approach it from not looking long term, if I'm surmising what you said to some extent correctly, as more of the long picture, things will pay off for you. Is that a fair assessment?
Spot on. Absolutely fair. And a lot of people set aside, certain goals, and I am a goal guy. And I believe that's important for people to visualize what they want to achieve. At the same time, I don't put a lot of my weight in the 20-year, I want to be a VP or a president thing. I like to do micro goals, things that I can achieve, almost, like the book Atomic Habits. I'm not sure if you've read that. It's a wonderful book, but it's small incremental changes that build to a bigger thing or a bigger existence or a better existence. And those are the approaches that I've taken from a career standpoint. I never looked back and said, I want to be a general manager or a president or anything of that nature. I've always looked at it as if I deliver the value and I step by step do things the right way and learn from mistakes and stay humble, these other bigger things long down the road, 20 years later, will take care of themselves. And so I started simply making smaller goals and knocking those things out. And that in turn has positioned me to where I'm at today. So I would fully agree with that. It is a long-term vision, but micro, short-term, easy. I don't want to say easy to achieve, but smart goals.
We've talked relationships. We've talked about your path and the value in those three elements that you highlighted. Let's get a little into the nuts and bolts, because I think it plays directly into, as we're talking about all the different elements in ticket sales. Let's talk renewals. One of the keys for a new salesperson coming out of Iowa is to understand all the different things we do and the importance of what a renewal means to the organization, to that individual's own performance. Could you just touch on how you all approach renewals, their importance to the Rangers, and why they're so important over new sales or any other package that you guys are selling?
The first thing I think that I would like to kind of highlight is, with baseball in particular, oftentimes people don't realize this because they look at the signage and the corporate partnerships and the TV rights and all of those things. For most baseball teams, and not all, but for most baseball teams, your ticket revenue far outweighs those other incomes. Our ticket budget this year, just to give a number, is right about $160 million just in tickets. Then you have the partnerships, the TV money, and some of the other things, but that is higher than all those other revenue streams. You have to look at it as this is the lifeblood of what we are doing as an organization. If the lifeblood is not flowing, then therein becomes the problem. And so we digest what people want, what they enjoy, what they like, and then we tweak from there. How can I deliver value? And I know I've used that word quite often, but how can I deliver value to our customer base? Number one, that's by having a quality relationship. And I say this to my staff all the time, and it's something that I read that Jeffrey Gitomer wrote in probably more than one of his books. But you don't close a sale, you open a relationship. Once that sale is complete, that's when the work really, really starts, because you need to make sure that they are getting their return on the money that they spent for whatever product that was, and develop and better understand them to make recommendations or cross-sell them, gain referrals. You, in essence, for me, I want to be their Rangers guy. If I am their Rangers guy, and they inherently enjoy working with me, they're going to tell other people about me. So those are new sales or cross-selling other opportunities. If I become that to them, then they are, from a dating context, they're dating me. And if they are also dating someone with the Cowboys, and we love the Cowboys or the Mavericks or the Stars, but my relationship with them is deeper because I've had lunch with them multiple times. I went to a funeral, a wedding, a graduation, or something for their kids. I sent them or did something special above and beyond the call of duty. I made it a task to go visit them when they're out here, whether they're in their suite or in their seats. I've put the face with the name often enough that there is no forgetting Nick Richardson. And when it comes time to maybe economy, we're having some economic issues right now. If a company had to cut something, what are they going to cut? My goal is for that not to be me, because I've delivered enough value in working with me and built a deep-seated relationship to where they are willing to give up on the others, not me, because I'm their guy. And I'm the guy that they trust more. I'm the guy that they want to work with more. Our competition is the other entertainment opportunities here in DFW. It's not the Yankees. It's not the Red Sox. It's not. We share ideas with them. Our competition are whatever is taking eyeballs off of the Rangers or butts out of seats. So we have to look at it that way. And how can we make that route as deep as possible to where they want to spend money here because of the relationship that we've developed? I think if we look at it that way, that is where you will be able to find a lot of value and a lot of repeat business. Now, not everything's going to go perfect. And I think one key above all normal, like, you can throw out organization, product knowledge, and a lot of that. But when it comes to developing relationships, speed of response, in my opinion, is number one. Even if you can't take care of it immediately, respond. Charlie, thank you. I received your email. I don't have an answer right now because it's 10 o'clock at night and I checked my email before I went to bed. Don't say that part. But scenario wise, as soon as I get in tomorrow, I will address this and get the information over to you right away. That little thing right there is going to turn someone from being a average fan of Charlie to a raving fan of Charlie, because Charlie took the time out of everybody's busy. Charlie took the time to address it head on. Or if there's problems, don't wait 24 hours. You might get yelled at more right now. You might. However, if you attack it now, you will capture their respect because you went at it head on and helped resolve the problem, or at least address and let them get out their frustration. Maybe you can't fix the problem right away, but you made yourself available for them. And that is where people fall in love with working with individuals.
Everything that I'm hearing you say gets me thinking, Nick, about the fact that sports is so unique that we have the opportunity to build those key relationships. There's a passion that you have for the teams that you grow up with, or that you fall in love with, or you move to a new city and you have your experiences with. In college, it's where you were first, you had your first freedoms, right? And that's my team, and I'm always going to be loyal to it. But I think what I'm hearing you say is that the best salespeople in the country are the ones that take that passion and personalize it to everybody they work with. So not both probably internally with you as a manager within the organization, but more importantly to everybody that you've sold to or are part of your clients, part of, dare I say, your family. And I kind of loose about that because there's family and then there's family, right? But
Right.
I think the most successful people we work with are the ones that are able to convert their passion for what they do and or where they work and or where they live with really, dare I say, caring about everybody that we're asking for money for. It's not that idea of I'm just trying to, it's not retail, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is that it is almost personal.
Absolutely. And one thing that I'll kind of throw in and add to that is, how do you become interesting to someone else? You show interest in them. So if you're going into a relationship and we briefly talked with one another and found out some nuggets about one another before we got even started today. To become interesting to someone, you have to show a level of interest in them. That's 2, 3, 4 questions. And then you go back and forth and you share some things, share some ideas. And now all of a sudden, heck, this Charlie guy's pretty cool. Oh, heck, this Nick guy's pretty cool. I enjoyed this. Whether you ever bought something or not, there might be something there from a relationship standpoint that I can help you with, or you can help me with. Or you're walking down the street and somebody says, oh, I want to go watch the Cubs play the Rangers. Charlie, you have a guy now. If I wanted to, somebody, I'm a fan of University of Oklahoma. Oklahoma was going to Iowa to play. I would call you and say, I don't know where to start here, Charlie. Can you put me in the right direction? Because we've developed something that is meaningful in a short amount of time because we've both shown a level of interest in one another. And now we, quote unquote, have a contact or have a guy, have a girl, whatever it may be, with that organization that we would gladly refer somebody to because we've built a small level of trust.
Let's move on and jump into, and I think you've given a lot of it, so we may have stolen all the thunder already. I ask everybody the same last 2 questions, Nick. One, the first piece, if there's one thing our students need to know from you as someone in the industry that they need to prepare for when entering the sports ticket sales business, what is that one thing? And if it goes more than one, that's okay.
Yeah. A lot of what I've talked about really feeds into it. At the end of the day, if I had to quantify it into one thing, it would be a student. You're already a student. Continue to be a student. Be a student of your organization. You don't have to know everything about every player. That's not what we're selling. Be a student of the sales game. Be a student of leadership. Be a student of simply better understanding people. And I don't want, you don't have to go get a psychology degree, but maybe read a book on mindset. Just continue to be a student of what you're doing day in and day out. The more you read, the more you learn. I'm a huge advocate for reading. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to read anymore. I have, in the last 9 years, I've read more the last 9 years as a leader than I did the previous, 20 odd years of my life. And I look back and regret not reading more. And so I would say be a student. If I had to narrow it down to one name, one line, one subject, be a student.
I love it. I absolutely love it. To our students, the second question I always pose at the end here is that Nick's got and you've heard the numbers earlier in our discussion here, he's growing individuals, and those individuals, maybe a lot of them will take his path and stay with the Rangers, but I'd also have to guess that some of them will move on.
Absolutely.
And Nick's going to be looking for the next superstar in the Rangers sales team. So let's get directly from Nick. What's it take when you have an open position, when you're in the hiring mode? What do they need? What do they need to prepare for when they're trying to get a job with the Texas Rangers? You're interviewing them, or one of your directors are interviewing them. What is that process? What do they need to know? What is your advice to getting your first gig in ticket sales in the professional sports industry?
Before I dive into what it takes to get a role, I love to give some stats, and I think this is very helpful. And it's not meant to be discouraging by any means, but it gives perspective. And then what I tell you following this will help you overcome this hurdle. Since I took over the hiring manager role within our sales department in July of 2014, there have been 2,862 people that have applied for a role in sales for the Rangers. Out of those 2,862, I've only interviewed 362. So you have about a 12.65% chance of getting an interview. Now, 47 is the number of people that I've hired in that same time frame. So you have a 1.6% chance of getting hired. Now, that sounds extremely discouraging. I understand that. What can you do to overcome that? Be a salesperson. Sell yourself. Make sure that your resume is buttoned up. Ask for help. Some people don't like certain types of resumes with colors or pictures or anything like that. I really don't care. Just make sure that the spelling's right. Make sure that it is full of content that is really relevant to what we're doing. And then reach out. Don't just apply. Every time we open up a job, we have no less than 100 people applying. How do you stand out above the rest? I'm active on LinkedIn. I'm easy to find. Reach out. You can find my email address online. Reach out. You can find my phone number. Reach out. Do what a salesperson action looks like. Get me on the phone. I usually don't answer the phone, but leave me a message. This is Nick Richardson. I recently applied for XYZ job. I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to find out more about the job and find out more about you. And I instantly am intrigued now because they're doing what I'm going to be asking them to do once they get hired. Now, after you take that step, if you get that opportunity to interview, dress up. And obviously I didn't wear a tie for this. This is more of a casual conversation. But if you're going for an interview, wear a suit and tie. Dress for the job that you want, not necessarily. I don't care if you're going to interview in retail, if you're going to interview in restaurant management or restaurant server. Go in there to shine. Sit tall, engage, take no less than 4 questions that you can ask them. And if you have a way of researching them, for instance, again, I'm active on LinkedIn. You can look on there and you can see where I went to school, how long I've been with the Rangers, and all kinds of information about my career path. Don't ask me, Nick, can you tell me a little bit about your career path? That's super general. Say something that is impressive to me. Nick, I noticed that you've been with the Rangers for 19 years, going on 20. I noticed also that you started as an intern and then worked your way up what's seemingly a step-by-step. What do you feel like helped you stand out to then be elevated to a leadership role? Now, that's a question. So get deeper with people and ask smart questions that are thoughtful, that show that you did some research. Then from a hiring standpoint, the first thing I do when I look at a resume is I go searching for them. I'm prospecting them. What does their online presence look like? What type of brand are they building? Can I find them? Can I not find them? Are they doing things that I wouldn't want on my team? And when I say that, social media is not private, right? What you post on there is going to make an impact. And different from going to work for AT&T. AT&T is a huge brand, right? So if you go to AT&T and you are working there and you make a really stupid mistake, let's just say you drink, you drive, you get in an accident, the person you got in an accident with doesn't make it, and you do. That story is like Nick Richardson did XYZ. But because, like you mentioned earlier, Charlie, that we have such a deep affinity for our teams, well, so does the media. And if it's Texas Rangers employee did XYZ, it's a heck of a lot more juicy of a story. And so I have to make sure that the people that are coming in here, the people that I am putting my trust in to do a job, also are representing me and our organization with class. Yes, they're going to make some mistakes along the way. But if I don't look at the history, I make a hire and then they continue to do that, it's my problem now. And I try to find ways that I can avoid some of those pitfalls before they even get here, just by doing a little bit of research. And then kind of the last thing on that is, if you get an opportunity, handwritten thank you notes to the person that interviews you. Make sure that you follow up with them. You can do email, but I would encourage handwritten thank you notes. Even if it's you're out of state and you got to mail it. Never mark yourself off if you do not get the job as never getting the job. I have hired 7 that I told no the first time because they stayed in touch, they were filled with class, and they continued to ask for feedback. I'm unique. I will do a post-interview call with people, and if I like them and they ask, I will do it. And through that, I have, again, hired 7 people that are with our organization and thriving now that I had turned down once before. Ask for feedback. Ask for an opportunity. If they don't give you feedback, then I would venture to say you probably aren't a good fit there. And it's probably not going to be somewhere that you would thrive and be joyful to work anyways. So ask for feedback. Take the feedback, even when it's hard to hear it, and work on the things that they tell you to work on. I think that probably sums it up.
Nick, your passion for where you work, for where you live, for the organization that you are such an integral part of, and the advice and insight that you have given our students today has been fantastic. And I just want to personally thank you, one, for your time. I know you are in, it's opening week. You're in some of the busiest parts. You've been preparing for it. Now it's here and now you're into it. We can never thank you enough. So I want to make sure you know that this time spent, I really feel is going to be worth it to our students and hopefully to you as well. And I'll just turn to you for real quick, the last word before we sign off here.
Absolutely. And I thank you for this opportunity. My hope is always that I can help one person. If I can help one person, then I have done more than many people in the industry do, unfortunately. At the end of the day, from an advice standpoint, if your people have not read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's a must read. That will help you engage people differently. And the way you engage people, as much technology that is out there, as much, AI and self-service and all of the things that we experience on a day-to-day basis, as much as that is there, and it is useful in many cases, people still, at the end of the day, crave and thrive with human relationships. Make yourself open for that. Stay open for that. Never close that off. Don't get offended. In my opinion, when you get offended by things, that's on you, not the person. Take things in stride. Develop a level of confidence in your ability by continuing to learn, and simply seek ways to make yourself stand out and be valuable to whatever scenario, group of people, organization, university, temporary job, whatever it is you're doing. If you say, how can I be valuable today for the people that I'm around, you will absolutely thrive and enjoy a very joyful life in whatever it is you put your mind to doing.
There's nothing more that needs to be said. Nick, thank you very much. Unbelievable way to finish off the SalesCast today. If you're a UI Sport and Rec Management student, let us know who you'd like to hear from or the other topics you'd like us to cover. We'll continue to work to get those on. You're able to follow the UI Sports SalesCast at the official YouTube channel of the UI Sport and Recreation Management Program. You can follow Nick and myself both on LinkedIn. I encourage all of our students to do that and give a follow. I want to thank everybody for watching today. Nick, again, thank you very much. We look forward to bringing you the next guest in the UI Sports SalesCast. We'll see you then, and go Hawks.